Hello students, the next concept here we are going to learn under tax-free income is earned leave encashment. The ninth point under tax-free income is earned leave encashment, that is as per section 10 subsection 10 AA. Earned leave encashment, so which is covered under section 10 subsection 10 AA. Now we see what is this earned leave. So there are different kinds of leave that an employee usually enjoys while in service. There are different kinds of leave that an employee usually enjoys while in service. For example, casual leave, that is CL, paternity leave, that is PL for the men when wife delivers, maternity leave, ML, that is for ladies for a period of 6 months, or restrictive holidays and earned leave, etc. are the kinds of leave, different kinds of leaves an employee enjoys while in services. For income tax purpose, only the earned leave will be considered here. For income tax purpose, only the earned leave will be considered. That is as per the section 10 subsection 10 AA. Now we'll see what is this earned leave. Earned leave means the leaves available to employees. Earned leave means the leaves available for employees which can be utilized for their personal purpose. And if such leaves are unutilized, while in service, then it can be encashed. If that leaves are unutilized while in service, then those leaves can be encashed. It means that the leaves can be converted into money. Encash is nothing but the leaves can be converted into money by the employee and it is considered as a income of an employee. So when the leave which are not utilized while in service, if earned leaves are not utilized while in service, then it can be converted into money and it is considered as an income of employee. For income tax purpose, only the earned leave will be considered here. So now we'll see what is the conditions for the earned leave in the income tax. What is the condition for the earned leave in income tax? See here, earned leave. The earned leave encashment is nothing but the earned leave will be converted into money. Earned leave will be converted into money. So when it converted into money, it will be treated as an income of an employee. When it is treated as an income of employee, then it will be taxable as a salary under the head income from salary. Under the first head, section 15, while computing gross total income. While computing the gross total income of an employee under the head income from salary, the earned leave encashment will be taxable under the head income from salary. Under section 15 income from salary, it will be treated as a income of an employee and it is taxed under the head income from salary. It is a kind of salary. When the leave is converted into cash, it will be treated as a kind of salary. So here there are different conditions for the earned leave encashment in the income tax. Now we'll see. So if earned leave, here the earned leave can be received while in service or it can be received at the time of retirement. Earned leave, it can be received while in service or it can be received at the time of retirement. If earned leave is received while in service, then it is fully taxable. If earned leave is received while in service by all the employees, it might be government employee as well as non-government employee. So if a earned leave received while in service, it is fully taxable in the hands of government employee as well as non-government employee. if earned leave received at the time of retirement, if earned leave is received at the time of retirement, then it depends upon the whether he is a government employee or a non-government employee. It depends upon whether he is a government employee or a non-government employee. If he is a government employee, then if he is a government employee and he receives a earned leave at the time of retirement, then it is fully exempt. If he is a non-government employee and he receives a earned leave encashment, if earned leave encashment is received at the time of retirement, then conditions will apply. So that is only for the non-government employees, conditions will be applied. So what is the condition in case of non-government employees? So now we'll see what is the rule for a earned leave encashment. It is what is the rule for the earned leave encashment received at the time of retirement by the non-government employee. What is the condition? Now we'll see what is these conditions. So here, in case of a non-government employee, here we have to take the least of the following 4 criteria. There are 4 criteria given here, 4 conditions. So among these 4 criteria, whichever is least is a exempt under section 10 subsection 10 AA. So among the 4 criteria, whichever is less will be exempt and the balance will be taxable earned leave. Now we'll see which are the criteria here. Which are the criteria given here. So that is particulars and to amount column, actual leave encashment amount received. If a non-government employee receives earned leave which is encashed, then what is the actual leave encashed amount received during the at the time of retirement? What is the actual leave encashment amount received by the non-government employee at the time of retirement? Now we have to provide exemption under section 10 subsection 10 AA. Under that we have to take least of the following. So there are 4 criteria. Under that, first one is actual leave encashment amount received or a actual amount of leave encashment received. So that will be same. Next, 10 months average salary should be taken. 10 months average salary. Third one is salary for approved period of leave to his credit. Salary for approved period of leave to his credit. Fourth one, statutory limit. Fourth one is statutory limit, that is nothing but 3 lakh. Statutory limit 3 lakh. So whichever is least is taken as a exempt under section 10 subsection 10 AA. So the least value will be exempt in the hands of non-government employee and the balance is taxable earned leave and it should be taken under the head income from salary. Understood? If earned leave encashment is received while in service, received means if he receives a earned leave while in service, if he receives earned leave encashment while in service, then it is fully taxable under the head income from salary. If he receives at the time of retirement, then for the government employee it is fully exempt. For government employee, no tax, fully exempt. For non-government employee, conditions apply. So based on this condition, whichever is least we have to take. So that much amount will be exempt under section 10 subsection 10 AA. So the balance is taxable here under the head income from salary. Understood, right? So now we'll see about these criteria. So actual leave encashment amount received is nothing but the value whatever the given in the question as a encashment amount received, that we have to take. Next, second one is 10 months average salary. So here we need to know what is the salary means for this earned leave encashment computation. What is the salary means? So here meaning of salary is same as in case of gratuity for employees not covered under Act. So meaning of salary will be same as we calculate it in the case of gratuity for the employees not covered under Gratuity Act. So what is that salary means? That is basic salary, DA or DP if it consider for retirement benefit, or a provident if it consider for retirement benefit, or it might be a part of retirement benefit, or it might be taken out as a part of provident fund, PF, or any superannuation fund. So then we have to take DA or DP, and commission if they give percentage on turnover. So the same salary what we used to take under the employees not covered under Gratuity Act, the same salary we have to take under the leave encashment. For the leave encashment also, the salary is nothing but the same treatment as a employee not covered under Gratuity Act. And see here once, employees not covered under payment of Gratuity Act, here we calculated salary means. So salary is nothing but basic, DA, DP if it consider for retirement benefit, commission, percentage of turnover. Same thing we have to take. Okay. So the same rule is applicable even in the case of encashment of leave. The second point is, for this purpose we have to take average salary, right? So average salary means the salary of last 10 months including the month of retirement. So this is point we should remember here, including the month of retirement. So here in case of earned leave encashment, we have to take the average salary. So that is nothing but the salary for last 10 months which includes the month of retirement also. So in the gratuity calculation, while calculating 10 months salary, we used to exclude the retirement month, and we used to take the previous 10 months excluding the retirement month. So as rule says, average salary means salary for 10 months immediately preceding the month of retirement. Means we used to exclude the month of retirement here. We used to exclude the month of retirement, and previous 10 months we used to take. But here we have to include even the month of retirement. For example, if he retires in the month of December, then we have to take December month also for the 10-month computation. Clear? Average salary here means salary of last 10 months, the including the month of retirement. Even the month of retirement here we have to include. Okay, so that is nothing but average salary. So what similar calculation what we used to calculate in the gratuity in case of employees not covered under Gratuity Act, same calculation, and even 10 months salary we have to take, but we have to include the month of retirement. In the 10 month we have to take we have to include the month of retirement also. So then we will get the total 10 months salary. How to compute average salary? That is divide by 10, we will get average salary. So again we have to multiply 10 months average salary, 10 into average salary. So here the 10 months salary means including the month of retirement. For example, Mr. A, he retired in the month 15th December. If he retired in the month 15th December, then we have to take the salary of 10 months. If he retires on 15th December, it is nothing but it is a middle of the month. It is a middle of the month. So here we have to consider this 15 days. Here we have to consider these 15 days of the retirement month. We should not exclude these days. We have to consider the 15 days. Plus we have to take the earlier previous month to take as a 10-month salary. Next, if he retires on 1st December, then we have to take earlier or a previous 10 month. We should not include this 1st December. We have to take previous month, earlier 10 month. Earlier 10 month or a previous 10 month we have to take. We should not include this December month. But if he retires on 31st December, then we have to include the entire December month. We have to include this entire December month and earlier 9 month. December and earlier 9 months we have to take, because this is a 1 month plus 9, 10 months, total 10 months. Here we have to take earlier 10 months, because it should not include this 1st December, but in case of a middle of the month, we have to take this December 15, and previous earlier 9 months plus 15 days we have to take from the previous month. So we will clearly understand while calculating the illustrations. So we should remember here, in case of average salary, here we have to take salary for last 10 months, which includes the month of retirement. So this is a month of retirement. If it is a retirement month, then we have to include these days, 15 days we have to include. Then these 31st December month also we have to include here, in case of a earned leave encashment. Now next one is, as per criteria, the third criteria is salary for approved period of leave to his credit. So as per IT norm, as per the IT income tax norm, approved period of leave is 30 days. Approved period of leave is 30 days for every completed year of service. For every completed year of service, approved period of leave is 30 days. So an employer can give more number of days for an approved period of leave, but for income tax purpose only 30 days is considered as a approved period of leave. That is nothing but 1 month. Approved period of leave is 30 days or a 1 month for the income tax purpose. So here we have to take salary for approved period of leave to his credit. So in every year he will be getting the 1 month approved period of leave or a 30 days approved period of leave. So based on that approved period of leave of 30 days, for every completed of service will be credited. So we have to take what is the approved period of leave to his credit. For every completed of service, what is the how many months approved period of leave he is available in his credit or in his account. Based on that we have to take salary, average salary into that credit period. Then statutory limit is 3 lakh. Among these 4 criteria, we have to take whichever is least of the following is taken, and that value should be given as a exempt under section 10 subsection 10 AA, and the balance is a taxable earned leave. In case of statutory limit, if an employee receives a leave salary from 2 or more employer in the same year, the maximum limit will be 3 lakh. Then it should be reduced by the amount of leave. So if he is receiving leave salary from 2 or more employer, then we have to deduct that value from this statutory limit, as we similarly what we calculated in case of gratuity. So if he receives any earned leave from previous employer, then we have to deduct from this statutory limit. So based on that we have to take least of the following, and if the value is positive, then the value should be taxable earned leave, and if you get negative value, then it is taken as a nil, means there is no taxable earned leave.